And we will end with the coveted Resident Award for Excellence. So this is the award which goes out. Again, you guys vote. All these awards are voted by you. So I'm again gonna take a quote from the personal statement of this resident. The resident wrote, so you'll figure out that this resident likes procedures a little bit too. So I braced myself. Who did the procedure? The patient asked the room. We scarcely drained a syringe full of fluid from around his right lung, a fraction of the volume estimated on imaging. Had his lung expanded and included the catheter tip? Was the pleural effusion loculated? We fussed with the catheter until the patient's muscle cramps progressed from manageable to crippling. A successful diagnostic thoracentesis, someone quipped later, but the plan had been to therapeutically drain the patient's hepatic hydrothorax. He was short of breath and exhausted, and we hoped that this would alleviate his discomfort prior to discharge with hospice care. Instead, he would leave the hospital as uncomfortable as he arrived. So who did the procedure? I did, came my voice in response to his question. I prepared to accept his expected frustration with the outcome, but there was none. You did a good job, he said. Later that day, the patient went home with his family. He died over the weekend before his appointment on Monday for a repeat thoracentesis. Though the patient said very little over the course of his hospitalization, we chatted a bit that morning about the fresh peaches his daughter brought from Missouri. That was the only time I saw him smile, then and when he thanked me after the thoracentesis. So I worked with this resident. I was a staff. I've worked with her personally. She's got a tough exterior when you meet with her, but you have to watch her with patience. She is phenomenal. Corey, can you roll the tape?
The first time I met Rachel was about 5 years ago. A little more than that. I was a first-year medical student, and she was a tutor in our anatomy lab, and then again in the MICU as an intern, and then lastly at the VA. It was a real pleasure working with Rachel. We always had a lot of fun, and she was always enthusiastic about real medicine, we called it. At the VA a lot of times, from really complex ICU patients to bread and butter heart failure to bamboozled limbs. We had a good time and we learned a lot. Rachel's one of those exceptional individuals that I believe in the future we'll see doing big things, really amazing things, and you'll get to nudge the person next to you and say, hey, I worked with them back in the day.
So I can tell you based on my personal observation that this resident truly lives by everything what was said about her and what was mentioned. So Rachel, I know you don't want a picture and you don't want to say something, but I'm going to ask you to come here and say at least a few words. So Rachel. She's gonna kill me later. I got the look. I've worked with her and I know the look.
All right, so I guess thank you won't suffice this time around. I'm very uncomfortable, so thank you. Let's see. I have been here for 11 years now training, not all on residency, but a long time here, and it would be a lot of people to thank, from preclinical and my classmates in medical school all the way through my clinical mentors and my co-residents, and we know who. So I will do a special thanks to Ian, because he has to deal with me at work and then also at home. So thank you.